Welcome to the cheapest brand new car you can find on the market. Yes, you've been asking me to do budget cars. I've listened. This is part 1 and we'll be looking at the Suzuki S-Presso. At least they didn't call it the cappuccino or coffee or rooibos or any hot beverage, but we're gonna look at the features this car has. It won't take time, don't worry. We'll talk about the cost of ownership and discuss whether or not it's a good idea to buy one. Now, when you look at this car, what does it remind you of? Personally, every time I see it, I just see a loaf of bread with wheels. But I know there's some people out there who look at this car and think this is beautiful. This is the most amazing car ever. And to you, I say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I cannot lie to you, it looks like a loaf of bread. But this loaf of bread isn't as bad as you might think. Let's talk about it a little, because it surprised me in some aspects. First of all, with the boot, you don't just go and try and open it, normally you just put your hand and press, you open it with the key, or you go to the front seat and pull the lever, old school stuff, and open your boot. Now, usually I don't start with the boot, but I felt this was important. The boot is surprisingly big. This car is tall or high, despite its size. You can fit a couple of things in there. And it also has a spare wheel. Now, let's go back to the front. When I first opened the driver's side of the car, to be honest, I was very impressed. I mean, this car actually has a 7-inch infotainment screen. Yes, it has one. I wasn't expecting it because, as you know, in a Polo Vivo Trendline, you still get that radio as standard. Now, unfortunately, the steering wheel doesn't have buttons, but guys, this is a budget car, the cheapest brand new car you can buy in South Africa. And you see it in places like by the door. You can't find the switches for the windows. If you want to lower your window, you do it right under the infotainment screen. The car has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. On top of that, it actually also has a reversing camera. And added to the reversing camera are parking sensors. So at least they got the basics right. There's your speedometer over there to see your speed. And if I'm being honest with you, when you're inside the car, you honestly almost forget you're sitting in a loaf of bread. It's really not that bad, which explains why I've seen a couple of them around. I've also seen a couple of people use them for take-a-lot deliveries. Some people use them for Uber Eats deliveries. So if maybe you want to get into that business and you don't want to ride a scooter, for example, you could just get yourself the S-Presso. So if you want this car for that reason, then it makes sense because it's a lot safer than a bike. Just yesterday, I saw one of the delivery guys. He got knocked down by a car. Fortunately, he was okay, but it happens a lot. Especially now with load shedding, the robots aren't working. People don't seem to understand how a 4-way stop system works. So rather get this. It does have 2 airbags. You'd be much safer in this. But as a personal vehicle for you, wena yourself, if you want this one, wait, hold on. We'll get to that at the end of the video. Let me first tell you how much the car costs. Now, this car starts at 156,900 Rand for the S-Presso 1-liter GL manual transmission. Now, there are automatics available, but we don't have to get into that. If you were to finance this car, it would cost you 2,907 Rand. Insurance, at most, they should charge you 1,000. If they charge you anything above that, I fight with them, Baba. Call, I don't know, make a plan. 1,000 it should be the peak. In terms of a full tank, this car actually only has a 27-liter fuel tank. So to fill it up would only cost you 603 Rand, which would bring your total cost of ownership to 4,510 Rand. If you're wondering about the wheel size, the car has 14-inch steel wheels. They come with a wheel cap, so it looks nice. When it comes to your engine, you get a 1-liter petrol engine, which produces 50 kilowatts and 90 Newton meters of torque. So that tells you already on the highway, yeah, you shouldn't venture off into the fast lane too much. Otherwise, the BMW dudes and the Polo kids, they're gonna give you a hard time. But yeah, but this car is not meant for long distances. It's not meant for highway travel. It's just for town or just around your neighborhood. But you know, people, they take these things and decide they're gonna drive to Durban, they're gonna drive to Polokwane. And yes, you'll get there, but you'll be very tired. And I don't know how the car drives in the wind. But anyway, back to the back seats. Now at the back, I actually sat behind my seating position. There was space. I was shocked. I don't know how Suzuki does it, but they always find a way to make space out of small cars. You'll sit, okay, I don't know if 3 people can sit there, but 1 or 2, you should be fine. Now, I'm not saying take your girlfriend and your friends to Cape Town in the back seats. They'll dump you. It's not for long journeys. If you want to take a trip to Gold Reef City, fine. The windows at the back, they wind down, Polo Vivo style. And yeah, that's the back seat. Now, in terms of service plan and warranty, the S-Presso has a 2-year, 30,000 kilometer service plan and a 5-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty, which is very impressive if I'm being honest with you. Remember, this is a budget car, but it still comes with a service plan. Polo Vivo, I am looking at you. And now let's talk about the car you should be buying, because I would not recommend that you buy this car. Instead, I say buy the Suzuki Swift. Now I know it costs more because the Suzuki Swift starts at 189,900 Rand, but on finance, that's 3,518 Rand, which is a difference of 611 Rand. Honestly, it would be the best 611 Rand you would have spent, because the Suzuki Swift is a much more solid car. I will still do a full Suzuki Swift review coming soon. But in the meantime, don't forget to support local YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Until the next one, take care. If you want to know how much is an iPhone, the price has increased. Forget the price you saw in my other end credit scene. This is the new price now.